Welcome, World of Warcraft fans, to another episode of Casual Encounters. This is episode 10.1. So I've had a nice week. Full week of having my 90 level boost, and having a lot of good stuff. I've gotten a few burdens, so I got few 535 gear. I did a little splurging on the legs and the belt, the 553 crafted stuff, so I splurged on that a little. I learned a little bit of my blacksmithing, basically just enough to get my bracers and my belt extra, whatever it is. Oh, gloves, sorry. Stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So I managed up to this point, after a week. I got one Warforged item from Ordos, and so yeah, I'm up to like 521 item gear now already. So that's pretty good. I'll probably this week I'll try to maybe do some flexes or something. I'm up to, in my legendary quest, I've gotten to the point where now I'm on the test of valor. So I think I started the test of valor. I was able to get around 400 because that's around where I was. So it's going to be at least another 2 weeks, I guess, from now, and I should be able to complete that part. And I think it's secrets after that. So yeah, so I'm having a good time with that. We've had a couple of news items for Warlords of Draenor, and we have some interesting news that actually I just saw today, and that is that they have implemented cross-realm rating for normal and heroic. That's pretty cool. It's still 10 and 25, if I understand correctly. That seems to be because they were talking about guild achievements and having 8 of 10 or 20 of 25. So I'm assuming that it's still 10 and 25, but they did manage to do it cross realm. So this the reason I think they're doing this mostly is to help those 10-man guilds who would like to maybe recruit for mythic rating, the 20-man stuff. That way, they can, get people from other realms. They don't have to transfer over to do heroic content with them, and I think that's really great. I think this is also going to help. It's also going to help. Let's just say, like, I'm doing a 10-man whatever raid. Just on normal, for example, and we're missing one person, and I just can't find anybody on the realm or whatever. At least I can like go into OQ or something probably and say, hey, anybody want to do 10-man normal? That's probably going to pop up a lot now. I imagine 10-mans are going to be big in OQ now. Should be interesting to see. So that's some pretty good news. Very, very interesting. It's a really good idea that they're doing that. I think it's really going to help a lot. You're still going to be able to get the ahead of the curve achievements, all that stuff. The mount, if you beat Garrosh, it's still in there. I don't think they're going to change that till 6.0. So hopefully this will allow a lot of people who haven't currently been able to complete whatever level that they want to complete. For me, that would just be normal. It might make it a little easier to complete. It would be great if they could. I would love for them to put it into flex, but you know what I mean by making that 10 and making the normal, at least the normals, flexible. That would have been really cool, but hey, can't have it all, right? So on to Warlords of Draenor news. So there was really only one big topic of discussion lately, and that is, for me, it's not really anything new. This is not really something that they talked about not being able to fly at launch. And I think other than Cataclysm, I don't think you ever could. So yeah, I don't really know what the big deal is. I think the only big deal was maybe that they mentioned that they might not do it at all, or that, like, as soon as you get max level, like, you won't just be able to learn it or whatever. They're talking about trying to get the people like together. So that when you because when you fly over something, like the world just seems empty, and you're not seeing anything. But when you're riding, and you're on your riding mount, and you're running, you're riding through the zones. You see people, you can interact with people, stuff like that. So I guess they're trying to make it more of an MMO again. So I think I heard in the past, and I think I've even mentioned this, they don't plan on actually having any fly. They didn't, at least originally. What the original thing was, they're not going to have any flying until the first content patch. So in other words, for the first little while, regardless of whether you're max level or not, you're just going to have to learn the flight paths or ride or whatever. And on that note, with flight paths, they did mention that they're going to try to make them a little more straightforward. So you're not, going over here and then over there and then over there and da 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 da. So I think they're gonna try to get, the most direct flight path possible. So that's gonna make it a little quicker for you to get to your destinations, which is really cool. Especially if they don't want to put that flying in there right away. So it's very interesting that instead of just getting to max level, you're gonna have to wait till the next content patch. So that's kind of interesting. Second. Sorry. Something interesting in the background. So yeah, that's really cool. I think it's actually really cool because that way, just because you level faster or whatever, doesn't mean you're not going to have an advantage over those other people who are still leveling, because not everybody goes at the same speed. So like if you're mining or herbing or anything like that, you're going to have to ride along just with everybody else. Just because you're max level doesn't mean you're going to be able to just go over everybody else, get there faster, get to those nodes quicker than everybody else. That's actually a pretty good reason too, and at least it gives, at least to that first big content patch, everybody will sort of be on an even playing field to do that, to get that stuff. And like I said, they really trying to get the interaction between everybody back into the game a little bit. So yeah, I think I'm okay with that. Especially with the speed. If they bring out content patches in the same speed as they did with Mist of Pandaria, it's not really going to be that long. I mean, it'll be interesting. It'll be kind of an interesting experiment to see if it does bring back some of that old, meet people on the road and whatever, in certain areas. I don't know. I mean, it was very interesting back in the day. I think we're all kind of past that. It's really, I think World of Warcraft has really just become an endgame game at this point. People level, look, the 90 boosts, everybody's interested in 90 boosts because they just don't want to do all that questing again. People like just even when it comes to the new content, people just want to get through it as quickly as possible so that they can get on to that in-game stuff. And it's kind of sad, but at the same time, that's just what the game has evolved into. Otherwise, in a way, if it didn't do that, it would spread people out. The game is so big that people would be spread out all over the place, and I don't think anybody would really be able to play together. Really, I mean, yeah, you'd meet people, and maybe when you're doing certain stuff, but it'd be really hard for friends, who have guilds, like they're in guilds together, and they're on, different parts of, questing or whatever. That's tough enough as it is when you're leveling. Um, if you want to go with friends, sometimes you got to wait for them, or maybe then you make an alt, or you'll bring up another character. But if you only have that one tune or whatever, you're just gonna go. You're gonna take all the time you have just to level that one tune, and so. And if it was a really super super long drawn out thing, as cool as it would be, and it was cool way back. I mean, I joined in BC, and it was a pretty new server, so everybody was new, and it was pretty cool. And you would run across people, you'd meet people in certain places, and you just run stuff together. You join parties, and it was fun. And we met a lot of people that way, and it was interesting. But like I said, it's hard to keep a cohesive group of people together that way, because if they're not all playing at the same speed, they're gonna drift apart, and then you gotta and it's okay. I mean, yeah, it'll force you to make new friends and all this, but it's gonna be hard to keep anything going, and people are always gonna get ahead. So I think the game is kind of evolved to a point where you can always be playing with your friends, and I think that's really what they want to do. And yes, it might hurt a little bit, that whole meeting new people stuff. But, hopefully with the, guild finder, hopefully they'll improve the guild finder thing. You cross realm stuff, all that stuff really helps a lot, I think, in getting people to be able to play together. So, but again, I think it's going to be a pretty cool experiment, and I think it's just kind of fair to have no flying for a certain amount of time, and then when that big next content patch comes out, then everybody will be able to get it, and it'll be a little more fair for everybody, and then everybody will be able to enjoy flying together. Now, they did say that they were actually going to be playing this by ear, and that it was possible. I mean, it has been rumored, or maybe speculated, that there is a possibility that they will never allow flying in Draenor, which when you think about it, is actually kind of interesting, because you have to think that, okay, so we learned flying when we reached max level in Burning Crusade, level 70, right? So, and this was in Outlands, and we didn't know how to fly before that. Now, if you think about it, Draenor is Outlands, but 32 years or whatever in the past. Maybe nobody knew how to fly back then. So it's an interesting little thing. You could say, yeah, well, there was no flying back then. It just didn't exist. I don't know. Who knows? It's an interesting thing to think about. But then again, on the other hand, we have learned to fly through our, from level 70. Some people, well, and I guess now if you're leveling a tune now, it's level 60, 58 if you're a druid, I guess. So it's interesting. It's an interesting little concept. So you could say, yeah, but we learned to fly, so we should be able to fly there. But again, every time we have a new zone, we don't learn to fly in it until we're max level. Some other speculations have kind of been, maybe they'll have some kind of, maybe in the new patch after launch, and they have their next patch, and they want to give people that opportunity, if they decide to let people fly, that there might be some kind of quest chain or something. I think it'd be pretty interesting, to go through some kind of epic quest chain to learn how to fly. The only thing that I would say is, if it's a long thing, like if it's a grindy thing, or if hopefully it's not grindy, because that's not fun. A nice, a nice quest, a nice quest chain, that's fun and interesting, relevant, and not just sort of grindy. That would be kind of bad. But depending on the length of it, if it's something you can do in an evening or something, fine. If it's longer, if it's something that takes a week or whatever, you know, many hours, then I would like to hope that you would be able to, like, I think it was in, I think they did this in Wrath, where you could get a tome, a training tome or something, and send it to your other characters. That would be kind of cool, because, you know, these epic quest lines and stuff, they're like, they can be fun the first time, but then if you have, especially for people who have a lot of vaults, you know, I mean, now I have 3 characters, so that's not even a lot compared to, that's nothing compared to a lot of people. But if, you know, some people like fill up their thing, or they might even have a full 50 roster, who knows. But, you know, to have to do those things over and over and over again, they're not really that fun. So hopefully you'll be able to do it one time, you know, per account, per server, whatever. I don't know how they'll do it, but, you know, hopefully it'll be like a buy on account tome you could buy to send to your other characters, that once they're max level, that, you know, that they'll be, it will be choir level 100, you know, and they could learn to fly. Or maybe even in a further patch, and I believe, again, like I said, I think this is how it worked in Wrath. You could actually send it to your lower characters, like your level 8, so wait, Wrath was level 80 max, so you could even send it down to your level 70 something characters. I don't remember if there was a limit on that, 74, or if it was just 70. You just had to be, I don't remember. But yeah, so yeah, I think that would be a really good idea to do it that way. But who knows? Maybe you just learn it. Maybe you just hit max level and you learn it. I don't know how they're going to do it, if they do it at all. So they said they're going to play it by ear, and we'll see what happens. So yeah, it's some interesting stuff to think about. So yeah, I guess that'll probably be it for tonight. I'm not sure, unless that might be it for the week, actually. It depends. If some really interesting news comes out either Wednesday or Thursday, maybe Thursday I'll do another one. Thursday night, so you might see it Friday or whatever. If not, then it'll wait till next week. So as usual, if you want to email me for any reason, you can email me at wowonmymind@gmail.com. If you have any comments, please comment. I really would like some comments. Just go down there in the YouTube thing and, you know, type your comments. If you have any questions that you'd like to ask me about anything, you know, maybe you want my opinion on something, or, you know, I want your opinion. I mean, what do you think about all this stuff, right? That's kind of cool too. Continue the conversation, and you know, it's cool to let people know, to have people let me know what they think about, you know, about my opinions as well, or just about the subject in general. So please leave comments. Please subscribe, and like if you like this video, and you can always check out my tunes if you like in the about section of my YouTube page. You'll see my mage Idamit, that's Timothy spelled backwards, my druid power shift, and my newly boosted 90 paladin Paltima. Check them out, and I am on the Nazgrail server, Nesingwary, Vecnalash, all connected realms. So give me a shout if you so desire, and have fun playing World of Warcraft. Take care.